Hi, I'm your host Vasco Duarte. Welcome to the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast, where we share tips and tricks from Scrum Masters around the world. Every day, we bring you inspiring answers to important questions that all Scrum Masters face day after day. Hello everybody, welcome to our Wednesday, the Change Leadership episode, this week with Artur Margonari. Hi Artur, welcome back.
Hello, thank you, Vasco.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to have you, and the very nice background you have there with the guitar on the wall. I'm jealous.
Yes, it's a nice one. I actually did a prank on my team recently. I took a photo from my background without me, from the same perspective of my webcam. I made that my background, and then I was with a new team. It was a new team that I just started. And they were complimenting my background as you just did. I was like, oh, it's nice. You have a guitar hanging there and a ukulele. I was like, no, it's a fake background. It's actually a 3D one. And then I went there and I took the guitar from the middle of the picture. Like a super nice effect. I was like, yeah. I'm also a magician at my free time.
That's a tip for everybody to play around with the backgrounds.
Absolutely. It's a good icebreaker.
It's definitely a good icebreaker. Okay, coming back to change leadership, the focus of today's episode, we want to talk about change because, of course, as Scrum Masters, a lot of our work is about dealing with and leading change, whether it's a team change, a personal, individual change, organizational change. It could be a bunch of those. But tell us a story of one of those moments of change that you were involved with, and walk us through the steps, like how that story developed, but highlight the tips, the tricks, the tools, the techniques you learned back then that you still apply today.
I don't know about our listeners. I don't know about you, Vasco. I think the majority of our experiences normally is in IT. It's where it started, at least my first experiences. But I had recently a mission in payroll. It's not HR. It's not a business, no marketing. It was in payroll. So you are there with your baggage and your experience of a Scrum Master from IT. I also coached HR and also business. So I had this also out of IT experience, but never payroll. So then I arrived there, 3 teams, right? Responsible for paying the salary of 3,400 people, blue collars and white collars. And I say, hey, everyone, let's stop. It's time for 1-day training for something called Agile and Scrum, and Lean and Kanban. We're going to go there, and then maybe we should stop paying people, right? And then we have 1-day training, and then some chairs started flying on my face. So it didn't happen exactly that way, but close enough. How can you tell people that are working 95% of their time for operational work, calculating salaries and premiums and meal vouchers and seeing numbers everywhere and names of people and doing that every month, to tell them, hey, stop paying them. Let's improve. I mean, if you are in an IT team, you can say, maybe we can descope this feature, we can reprioritize, we can stop for a while. You can play with that a little bit more flexible than in payroll. But if it happens in payroll, you might get a strike. You might lose 200,000 euros. You might get some trouble. So for me, it was very, very hard because I never had this experience. And I had to reinvent myself. I have to simply throw away majority of my knowledge and my experience to say, what is the problem right now? By the way, that's recommended for whatever new mission you are going to, new client, new situation. What is the real problem you're solving here? Fall in love with the problem, not with the solution, right? Don't say like, hey, as in our episode from Monday that we just discussed, hey, go there and implement Scrum on that team. Okay, but why? Because you are a Scrum Master, so implement Scrum. You don't master Scrum, so go there, implement. Oh shit. So that was really tough, and I had to find my way to reinforce why are we doing those things, what problems are we solving at the beginning of each meeting. 5 minutes at the beginning of each meeting, I would start with a big slide or a big drawing I've done, a big flip chart, saying what was the reason why we are there? What is the purpose of that meeting? What problem are we solving? And I was repeating that again and again. If the meeting was happening once a week, I would be repeating that again and again. The roles on that meeting, I would be repeating that again and again. That was the way I found to spread the introduction and the training and the knowledge throughout the days. And just one caveat, Vasco. I was the second coach trying to implement something there, the second missionary. I don't know, missionary is maybe still religious, but I was the second person there. The other one tried. It wasn't full time, and it didn't work. Simply, the person was trying to take a few hours per week, and it didn't work. So I was the second one. People were looking at me like, "All right, here he comes again. Second attempt. Okay, when are we gonna kill this one? Do you wait 1 month, or are we kill him in 2 months?" And also the expectations from the stakeholders were extremely high. I still remember the sentence at the beginning saying, "Hey, can you do this, and this in a month?" I was like, "What? Yeah, this and this and this in 1 month." And I think I have a drawing that I normally post things on LinkedIn, drawings from my crazy mind, some metaphors, some cartoons. And one of them is a person arriving at the company with a bag of seeds. And the boss there saying like, "Oh, right, nice that you brought the seeds. Can we harvest the fruits in a month?" I mean, maybe we have some what they call low-hanging fruits, but for fundamental and structural changes, it might take 6 months, it might take 1 year, it might take 3 years. So it's okay to have some quick wins, it's okay to have some low-hanging fruits at the beginning, but it's important to manage the expectations of the stakeholders and the leadership, which so I don't think I did a good job, to be honest.
How did you, that was my next question, right? So obviously managing expectations and helping people who asked us to do something, helping them be patient is one thing that we need to do. So how did you pull that off?
I don't think I did a good job, Vasco. I think I was too smooth on my answer. My brain, as soon as they say, "Hey, can we have that and that and that in a month?" My brain was like, "No way. Just don't say no, say no, say no, no way, impossible, whatever you want to say, but just please manage the expectations." And outside I was like, I think it's a bit hard. No, it's not a bit hard, it's impossible. So after a month, what happened? "Hey, what are the things that we're expecting?" I said like, "Yeah, remember when I said it was hard? It was very hard." Now, if I would come back in time, I would really say like, "Look, it's not possible. What we can do is maybe reduce a bit of the waste here. We can decrease maybe the cycle time here after a month, or we can do just a few things, but the fundamental changes, like in case of payroll, the main KPI, the main metric you check is the accuracy, right? How accurate our payroll is being paid, is running." And at that time was 74%. Do you want to increase to 100% in a month? Do you want to increase to 90% in a month? It's just not possible. By the way, when we start a change, there is the J curve, the Satir change curve, if you prefer, which is we have a status quo, the change is added, and then there is a dip. There is a moment where we are learning how to work in that new ways. We are taking times to understand what is that session for, what is that role for, the responsibilities, what is the goal here, what there is a going down, right? And then we go up again, and probably higher than before. So after a month, it was actually even a bit worse. We improved some things, but people took some time to learn, and they were trying to understand, and I am a change agent. So these expectations has to be very well managed before. And I think today I would do it slightly better if I would manage that.
One of the things you said when you started your answer is, what's the real problem we are trying to solve? You even talked about falling in love with the problem. How did you bring that perspective into this change process?
I think it's going to sound bad what I'm going to say, but it's their problem, right? The problem they're facing is not mine. It's their problem. The problem is already there. The reason why I'm being called to a session or to a department, to a team, to a company, it's because there is something happening there. There is a room for improvement, if you want to put it that way. So I try to first talk to people. I have some interviews, and I try to visualize, to make visible the problems that are already there or the goals they want to reach. So it's not because I am an Agile coach, I am a Scrum Master, that I want to implement Scrum, or that I believe that you being a PO is the best answer to that. So first I make them understand what is the problem, because they raise it themselves. It's not me coming with a slide from home, and we go from there. My backlog at the beginning of a mission, it's almost zero. I just have interviews and understanding the problem, and from there I propose what I experienced in the past, in the last years, or what we can do there based on the goal of the client. But I think it's, if you don't own the problem, if they don't understand that there is a problem, then everything you try to do is just push, no? And if whatever you push is, it's going to push back with the same force. Third law of Newton works like a charm.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great point. Like, implicitly you said it's their problem. Yes, but they need to recognize that it is, and that it exists even. And that's part of our job too. So I really like that perspective. And then also one thing that we need to bring as Scrum Masters is to help people take ownership of that problem, right? Because otherwise it's still upon us to get it solved, and it shouldn't, because we don't know how, especially, as you said, when you go to payroll, having never worked in payroll before, right?
Yeah.
So it's very important to kind of help the team own the problem, and I mean feel the ownership, right?
Yeah.
Not give them the responsibility, but rather help them to feel the responsibility.
Yeah, and they should raise the problems as well, aligned with the leadership, because even if I know how to solve the problem, I can't. I'm just one person. They are the ones doing the work. They are the protagonist of the... Looks a bit cliche what I'm saying right now, but they are the protagonist of the whole play. So if they don't know what is the problem, they don't feel it, or they are not engaged with that, they are going to do just to check boxes, just to make the management happy, or the Scrum Master happy. Okay, let's do this stuff called daily stand-up, whatever it is, or 15 minutes every day. Oh my God. So at least I can do sitting up right now in front of my, without pants on my laptop. But I don't know why we're doing that. I don't know why we're breaking down the work into smaller chunks and prioritize. I don't know what, I don't understand. I'm just doing because I want to keep my job. And I think that would be the worst feeling as a Scrum Master, is like people doing just to check boxes. Ouch.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much for sharing this story with us, Artur.
Thank you very much, Vasco. Have a good day.
Leading change is one of the core skills we must acquire, but it is only one of the steps towards our success as Scrum Masters. Tomorrow, on Success Thursday, we will talk about how to define success for the Scrum Master role. We'll cover tips on how to measure your way to that position, and most importantly, how to develop that focus on continuous improvement that is as important for Scrum Masters as it is for teams. See you tomorrow. We really hope you liked our show. And if you did, why not rate this podcast on Stitcher or iTunes? Share this podcast and let other Scrum Masters know about this valuable resource for their work. Remember that sharing is caring.